Welcome back to Ask an Actuary. If you are a business owner thinking about starting a retirement plan, or maybe you've already got one and you're wondering if you could be doing more, then this episode's for you. Today, we're sitting down with Andrew Taggart, a consulting actuary here at Odyssey Advisors, to talk about how actuaries help design retirement plans, especially those that aren't just compliant, but actually work towards your goals, especially when it comes to saving big and deferring your taxes. Hi, Andrew. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
So let's get into it. When a business owner wants to start a retirement plan, where does an actuary come in?
All right, so the first thing that an actuary can do to help is to determine what the main goal of the retirement plan is. So a retirement plan always helps with the name, to provide some retirement savings to all employees in the plan. However, the main goal we usually see nowadays is to help high income individuals, usually the owners of the company, to defer more tax dollars. So to design a plan, we need to know what the goals are for the plan to be able to help with that.
And what kind of information do you need from a business owner to help design a plan tailored to their needs?
Right. So the most important information we're going to need is how much money is available to be used for the plan. So based on the amount available, we can layer retirement plans on top of each other to add more benefits. Also, if tax deferral is the main goal, then we're going to need to know what types of demographics the plan has. So the ages and compensations of all the employees we're going to use to determine how much money can be deferred by the high income individuals, and how much it's going to be required to be given to the non-highly compensated employees to make that happen.
How do you help someone decide what type is the best fit for their business?
Right. So to determine the plan that fits best, we look at that information that you've provided to us, and we'll determine, based on different conditions that are needed to make the different retirement plans work or make sense monetarily. So if the conditions are right, we can layer the retirement plans on top of each other to add more and more tax deferral opportunity.
So, talking about layering retirement plans on top of each other, how does that work?
Right. So depending on the amount of money available, determines whether we even need to layer retirement plans. So the first layer is always going to be a 401k plan. So that would use employee contributions, and the maximum for that as of this year, 2025, is $23,500. Now, there's also catch-up deferrals for individuals between the ages of 50 and 63. So that goes on top of that $23,500, depending on the individual's age. The second layer that we would put on would be a profit sharing plan, and that would add employer contributions to that. And as of 2025, the most we can contribute to that, what that would be, which is a defined contribution plan, is a combination between that employee contribution and employer contribution. The maximum would be $70,000. Now, that wouldn't include that catch-up deferral amount that I said. So people between 50 and 63 could contribute even more than the 70,000. But if there's even more tax deferral amount that would be needed, or money available, then we can add what's called a cash balance plan on top of that. Now, those plans are very demographic reliant. So I'm sure there's other videos that we have put out, but what would be ideal would be for lower income individuals to be younger and the owners to be older. Now, we can work with other demographics, but that's going to be the ideal amount to reduce the cost of this plan. But that plan, if the demographics make sense and the money's there, can offer a large amount of contributions annually, upwards of $100,000 per owner. But there are additional rules and requirements because it is with the IRS, and it has required minimum contributions. So that's something to think about.
So, whether you're just getting started with a 401k or deciding to layer on the additional retirement plan options, basically what it comes down to with actuaries designing a retirement plan, it just comes down to strategy. how are we going to take this business and give you the most tax deferral and obviously set your employees up for success. And that's where actuaries like Andrew here on our team here at Odysseys can make all the difference. Thank you again for joining us, Andrew. I really appreciate you going over that today. And as a viewer, if you have any questions or want to explore what might work for your business, we're always here to help. Thanks for tuning in to Ask an Actuary, and we'll see you next time.